Hi guys, it's Drogo here. Today's replay was sent in by Joggaman. He's playing in his Defender, the Russian Tier 8 Premium Heavy Tank, which was released in the last patch. And he's platooned up with Retro Nimble and Scavenger 81, who are in the Object 252Us, which are pretty much exactly the same tank, just without the rather patriotic paint scheme, shall we say. So, if we have a quick little look at the lineups here, we can see that there isn't very much for the platoon to be afraid of here. The matchmaker has been exceptionally kind. There's only really the Liberté, the IS-3, the Lerva, and the Scorpion G tank-wise that really present any problems to penning their frontal armour. And obviously the Tiger P and the Hummel are something you need to be aware of. The rest are pretty much just tasty snacks for this tank. So you could play the one line, but I don't really think the 252 has the gun depression, and with the 2 artillery it's probably unwise to do so. So I think you go in the correct way here by pushing the island. I wouldn't expect all 3 of the heavy tanks to be down here, maybe 1 or 2, but as a platoon of 3 you can take them out very quickly. Now here we make a little bit of a mistake. So Scavenger goes the correct way. You have to go to the right of that rock, otherwise as Retro finds out you get shot in the side by campers over at the 7. Now the artillery just fired then, so we know that he's likely to be around A7, A8 rather than on the island, because he wouldn't have got there in time to be able to get that shot away. So you want to stay on the left hand side here. Pushing over to the right like you're about to do is going to leave you open to artillery fire from A7, whereas the church will protect Scavenger and Retro from any artillery attacks. So we can see there's only really the Liberté here for you to worry about, so pushing in would probably be a wise move. The Lerva's been spotted on the 2 line, and the IS-3 is back at base, so along with the Scorpion, so there is nothing really here, and you push quite well then. But this is the problem with going wide on that bit. You do expose yourself to artillery, and that was probably 400 points of damage that you didn't need to take. So as we're pushing in, we can see that the 1-2 line is going to be lost, so you can expect the base to fall relatively quickly. You've only got a tier 7 and 2 tier 6 tanks defending the base at the moment, so you do need to win this quite quickly. And we can see that the main threat here is going to be the IS-3. As long as you keep your frontal armour to the Dicker and the Hellcat, there really isn't much they can do. Now here we spot the Scorpion G, and this means that we've now got 2 tanks to worry about. So the Scorpion G and the IS-3 should be your main priorities. The Scorpion's on lower health, so it's 2 shot, and it's now 1 shot. So I have to question, why did you take the shot at the 3001D instead of killing the Scorpion G? Yeah, okay, you got the fire, you get the kill, that's very nice. You do leave yourself open to be penned by a 490 alpha damage gun and the IS-3's 390 alpha damage, which between the 2 of them could leave you in a nasty situation. Now here we also make a misplay. We can see A, the Hummel's been spotted and he's not looking in your direction, so you don't have to worry too much about the Hummel right now. But pushing in towards the Scorpion G, you're giving your rear of the tank, which isn't got the best armor, to the Dickermax. Now, the Dickermax doesn't have fantastic pen, but he's got a decent alpha damage gun, and he can take a 300 chunk out of your health because you're presenting the rear of your tank. If you'd stayed back a little bit where either Scavenger is, or maybe use the 3001D's wreck as cover to hide your LFP, there's not much that Dicker could do, and you certainly wouldn't have taken 284 points of damage. Now again, we can also see misplay on priority targets. IS-3 is the thing that can damage you, as long as you can keep your frontal armor to the Dicamax. And remember, the Dicamax has no turret, so keeping your frontal armor to the Dicamax is really not going to be a problem. So, looking at the Dicker, want to take a shot, is the wrong move. You really should have been in a position to get the shot onto the IS-3 as soon as you've reloaded. But you take him down quite quickly, and I'm not quite sure this IS-3 now is 530. That must have been either a mega roll on his AP or he bounced HE off him. Artillery's been taken down, but yeah, there's the other artillery there. I would have been pre-out in that direction. You knew the artillery was going to be there, and that was an easy kill you could have got. But no worries, here comes a 3001p to feed you more damage. And you're very unlucky there to roll low and leave him on 14 hit points. The alpha damage on the 252 or the defender is 4. So it was a bit of a low roll to let him live there. So we can see at this point you've got two threats. The Lerva, who has the flank, and you're being capped by at least one tank at the moment. So you want to identify which one you want to deal with first, deal with it, and then move to the next threat. So you've currently got your platoon mate in a 252 heading towards the Lerva, and you've got an IS-3. Why you stopped there is a mystery to me. That was a shot that was never going to happen. It was a shot at a tank which had absolutely zero threat to you. It was a waste, really, a waste of time. You could have either been on the Lerva or you could have been that little bit closer to cap. The Strandvan, unless you give him flat side or the rear of your tank, never pen. Now, currently the Lerva is engaged by the IS-3, but you've got to keep in your mind that if he does able to take out the IS-3, he can get rear shots at you, so you want to try and put some hard cover between you and the Lerva. So I would have probably cut a little bit to the left here. But then, Russian accuracy, I do love this gun. It snaps so well. So Lerva's taken out the IS-3 now and has rear shots, but you have managed to now pull across to the left and get some hard cover between you and him. The Skoda T25 is absolutely no threat to you whatsoever. Unless you give him the side or the rear of your tank, there is nothing that he can do at all to you. So it's just tasty biscuits. 430 hit points should be a one shot, but as we know in all the tanks, RNG will often say, not today, and you'll roll low, leaving on 31 hit points. Now here I'm presuming you're trying to convince the Bulldog that you're going in a different direction, because I'm not sure what trying to push out here would have done other than get you spotted if he was out here and possibly shot by the Jagdpanzer that was last spotted heading in this direction to get shots across at you. But he's now spotted over there, so you can go and engage without any problems. The one thing I would say as well here now is you're giving the Lerva and the Jagdpanzer Fear quite a lot of time to be able to get and join the fight. Yes, you probably went the right way round. There probably wasn't any other way of doing it, but you do need to be aware that you're likely to be facing 3 enemy tanks now instead of just the one that you're anticipating. So a nice easy come round and a surprise butt sex for the Bulldog. Now here we can see, we know that somebody's in the cap. We don't know who it is yet. so we don't know what kind of gun that we're likely to be facing. So rather than pushing around a corner without fear in the world, what I'd probably do would be to push this bulldog wreck out in front of me, which protects my lower front plate if it is the lurver, and only allows shots at the cupolas, which, while easy to pen, are very, very hard to hit. But unfortunately, we are going to drive out, and that broadside, or I'm not sure, that might have even been the drive wheel to the left. Now the Lurver's actually quite a good player here. He knows what he's doing, and he's closing the distance and then face hunting. He's a full tank, so he can get shots at your cupolas without a problem, whereas you'll really struggle to get shots at his. Now, looking here, we've now got a new threat just appeared. The Lurver is obviously your primary target, and you want to try and get the shot into this guy. It's going to be very tricky to pen the Lurver now that he is in face hugging range. But you do want to try and avoid giving the Jagdpanzerfear an easy side shot. So maybe angling a little bit further away, because even though your front plate, when unangled, is weaker, it's still a very strong plate, and he has probably only a 50% chance of going through it. But moving like you just did there, that actually flattened the angle out for the Jagdpanzerfear, and yeah. So slight misplay at the end, and some questionable target priority up at the base encounter. But overall, a good game, and showcasing the 252 very well. 3,787 damage in total, with 295 assist, and 7 kills. So, good game, bad luck, and yeah, maybe 1 or 2 little areas to work on. So, thank you very much. I've been Drogo, and I will catch you on the next one.